A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless
I
veterans?
do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon.
It is already out. Hold on. Well, the book is out. Let me put it that way. Hold on. Let me mirror this. Okay. I gotta get my books down. Let me get my books. Okay. Okay. So that book is out. That's this book right here. This is to teach realtors how to work effectively in the veterans community, from homeless to home ownership. That's this book right here. Thank you for the hearts over there on TikTok. And as a realtor, I'm a realtor. I am a realtor, and I house homeless veterans. And my realtor colleagues are like, that's fine. What about realtors and non? I got books for all of that. And I have a master class that I'm working on too, to teach y'all all the good stuff. So I've been a realtor for 29 years, and I've been housing homeless veterans. Thanks for joining my club, housing homeless veterans for 22 years, 22 plus years at the VA. I'm a realtor. These are the workshops that I was at the VA conducting, and at the vet centers, and at city colleges here in Chicago, city colleges of Chicago, and at the Cook County Corrections, Federal Bureau of Prisons, various municipalities, and other colleges and universities. And I was doing that. I never came online talking about any of that. All of my clients came from my workshops at the VA, at the vet centers, any of my workshops anywhere in this town. I received buyers and sellers and homeless veterans, because I educate homeless veterans on what to do and house them too as a realtor. And I got a commission. I was, let me see, I was in the top in transactions, top in rental transactions several times. Awards. These are just some of my awards. These are some of my awards. This is for this year. Other ones are downstairs in my other office. But housing homeless veterans from homeless to home ownership. And if you guys were here when I played my commercial, when we were down in Springfield, Illinois, with thousands of realtors, thousands. And I just wanted to grab that microphone and ask the question and tell every realtor to step to the stage if you know how to house a homeless veteran. Oh, but you know, I wasn't on the stage, so so I didn't get to say that. So I'm like, okay, they're walking this way. I've got a phone, I've got a camera. Let me ask. Hey, let me ask you a question. Everybody was caught off guard. Everybody. I didn't ask the question before we went on camera, except for all the ladies standing in line to go to the restroom. They heard the question before I was asking everybody. And every one of them, you heard what they said. They do not know how to house a homeless veteran. And they don't. And that's one reason we have so many homeless veterans in our country, because realtors don't know how to move veterans from one place to the next. They don't. I went to a meeting. I'm on a commission at the Main Street Organization of Realtors. Hold on, I got an award from Main Street Organization of Realtors for 2025. Is it backwards? No, 2025. I received the President's Award. This year, I received the President's Award. I receive awards a lot. And this one is for outstanding service dedicated and time so generously given to Main Street Realtors 2025, right? So, and I'm like, okay, I wrote a class back in 2014. I taught it 2015, part of 2016, to teach realtors how to work with, let me get my folder. One moment, please. How to work with Section 8. How to work with Section 8. I couldn't just say veterans, but the reason I wrote the class really was for my veterans, so that more of them can get serviced using their Section 8 voucher, their HUD-VASH voucher. And I got so much pushback. I'm like, oh, are you serious? Really? And yeah, I'm telling it all because I've never told this publicly. But that's the reason I stopped teaching that class, is because of my fellow realtors. I'm like, I just don't have time for y'all. And I never go on the MLS to try to find a rental, because as soon as this veteran comes up with the moving papers, and I say, okay, let's go find something. If I go on the MLS, the first thing that is required, which I can't say you cannot require that because it's not my listing. The first requirement is already a denial to this veteran with this voucher. 9 times out of 10, the first requirement is the denial for this veteran using this voucher. And you may say, Yvette, why? The veteran has money. This voucher pays the rent. This voucher is the veteran's benefits. Just like we have optical benefits. I'm a veteran too, Army veteran. We have medical benefits. I'm service disabled, so I've got that percentage benefit, benefits for education and housing, using a voucher or using other SSVF funding that the government has generously put out into our community, over $900 million for veterans to use this money if they're homeless or at risk of being homeless. But you get this money out into the community amongst these realtors, and they're like, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. Oh, you got to jump over that firewall too. I'm like, what? It doesn't take all of that. It doesn't take all of that. I know what you're doing, because yeah, it has to be done, but not in every case. So when a veteran is not allowed to use their housing benefit, you're denying them the right to housing. And that's a problem. That's a very serious problem. So I wrote a housing bill. And I sent it to 3 local politicians, but I think I'm going to send it to every politician that has an email address, because we got to get it out there. And that housing bill, it works a little bit different which would allow these veterans to use this funding and this benefit for housing. And you don't have to jump over all those hoops and firewalls. You're not a firebender. You know, you can't block off all of that. The veterans who receive this money, this rental right, went through an application process. First went through an intake process at the VA, and then went through another process at Housing Choice Vouchers. So they got through the first level of checks and balances and then got through the second level of checks and balances. So they've been put through hell again, because this is for homeless veterans, not just any veteran. This is for homeless veterans, the access and right to housing. So they go through a lot of intake and background checks and mental checks and everything to get approved for this. So when they go into the community and meet up with the realtor who doesn't know how to house them using this or any of the $900 million that the government so graciously given out as grants of 411 organizations across the country. So they're not allowed to use any of this because you want them to jump over a fire burning building. Because as soon as you say credit check, that's what you're asking them to do. That's what you're asking them to do. And then they have to pay for their credit check. And now they're out of $65 or whatever your office charges, but they're still homeless with the voucher to move somewhere, with $900 million that these organizations are sharing that would allow this veteran to move somewhere. But they just failed your application requirement, and they're still homeless. So now they're going to go find another realtor because you're not helping. They don't qualify for anything. But they're still homeless. So they go find another realtor. And guess what happens? I can't hear you. Guess what happens? The same thing. The same thing happens over and over and over again. But this veteran still has a housing benefit and is still being denied the right to use it. And I understand. I'm also a real estate instructor, Illinois real estate instructor. So I understand. And I never asked an agent to do anything that's not legal. I would never do that. But I just can't work with them because that's what they do. So I work within the community, and I meet a lot of wonderful people. And that's what's in my book, not just this one. And all of my books are in my library, in my bio. This one is for, oh, hey, Mel Johnson over here on TikTok. This one is for veterans who are looking to use their VA loan for the first time. Homeless veterans, get this now because you're not always going to be homeless, because we're going to work on your service connection disability. So I just have a ton of books, and they're all in my library. But I'm just letting y'all know, whatever I talk about, you can learn about in my books. And then you can do it yourself in your community. So, oh my God, I just can't believe this, but it's true. I'm working with a veteran and her caretaker in Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, this is the voucher for Chicago, but she's got a voucher in Virginia. since April of 2025. This is November. And they just sent me a picture 2 days ago. They're still sleeping in their truck. She had to get her moving papers renewed 5 times and still homeless. So she's being denied the right to use her housing benefits under the VA and under HUD. So what I do? I went ahead and wrote some congressional letters to all these politicians who say they care about their jurisdiction. And 2 of them responded. One of them said, "Oh, this is what we've done for veterans." And the other one, yeah, we were on the phone. We had an hour conversation, 45-minute conversation, and then put him on the phone with the veteran with the voucher for 1 hour. He had to do his digging, and he said, "Oh, well, I contacted the housing authority, and the housing authority said she has a case worker." I know that because this is the caseworker. And she's still homeless. So what does that matter if she has a caseworker or not? Did her caseworker get her housed? No. What did her caseworker do? Send her a laundry list of units. Let me show you. Oh, it's just deplorable how our veterans are treated in the community because people don't have the knowledge. If I can house over 5,000 homeless veterans, why can't you? I teach you I've got the blueprint, and I teach you the blueprint in the book. All you got to do is get the book and read it, and you can join my private group. But this is the list that they emailed her, because I said, email it to me. Because I put, the list all together and sent out, hey, we have a homeless veteran with a 2-bedroom voucher. Because you got to say that, because when they fill out the application, they have to put an address. What address are they going to use? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. 2 days ago, they're still in their car, in a tent and in the car. Where do you take a shower now? Where do you take a bath? Where do you do anything? And she's a senior veteran, 72. 72. In a crunched up automobile. Because I know it's crunched up. When I was homeless, I was in a crunched up Camaro. You know how, oh, that hurt. Neck hurt, back hurt. You can't get comfortable. That's no way to live. But we have veterans with the power to pay rent. Okay, what's the most effective program you've seen for veteran housing? The program that allows them to move into a unit. That's the most effective. Thank you for going live with this. It really makes an impact. Oh, thank you. Why didn't the caseworker call them? That's a good one. You know what's real easy? This is what I do over here on on TikTok. Why didn't the caseworker call them? Let me tell you something. Oh my God. I got a book for caseworkers too. I train caseworkers because they don't know what to do. And this is the book for caseworkers, but I train caseworkers. So this list is real easy. Let me tell you how this list is real easy. It comes in an Excel spreadsheet, right? So you put that Excel spreadsheet over in ChatGPT, and you tell ChatGPT to extract the name, the department, and the email address, and write an introduction letter, explaining the brief situation that we need this 2-bedroom for this veteran who has a 2-bedroom voucher, and we want easy access. I put it in, low hanging fruit. We don't want you to do a credit check, a background check, or an eviction check. But if that's what your office requires, then we cannot apply. And send that email, because everybody has an email on that list. Send that email and watch those people come through. That's how you do that, but they don't know. So it turned out that nobody, everybody is doing it the same way. And that's why she's still homeless, because now she cannot qualify. Her credit is down to 450. So she needs a private investor, somebody who has properties and they're self-managed. They can do what they want to do. Some of my investors only want veterans. They say they're the best tenants ever. I got a veteran who, well, he's in this book. He's in this book right here. Truly an eye-opener about the challenges and victories behind the scenes. Thank you. Hold on. So this this veteran right here, he had a voucher like this. That's him right there with the key going into his house. So he was a homeless veteran in a transitional housing, and then he got a voucher. And I put him in a 4-unit, and I put 4 veterans in each of those apartments, and the owner, an investor, no, she lived in one, and then she eventually moved out because she could buy a house. So she bought a house, and then she rented out the last 4, and she gave it to me to rent out. So he had this transitional, then he got this. He stayed there for 4 years and worked on, he's got his 100% service connection disability rating. Worked on his credit because he came to my workshop at the VA. Did I show y'all that? At the VA, and learned exactly what he needed to do. So now he's working on everything, and he finally got everything together and said, Yvette, I think I'm ready. Okay, well, let's make sure you're ready. Ran his credit, got his VA approval. So we went shopping, looking at houses, and he chose his house. But because he was at that apartment with the voucher for 4 years in that 4-unit building, and that was home to him, and his home is impeccable to this day. He say that you got to come by and look at my grass. He say people drive by and they just stop and look at my grass. So I drove by and looked at, I'm like, he does have a nice lawn and well manicured with beautiful bushes and flowers, just gorgeous. And that's how he kept the yard up at the 4-unit where he lived, where he had this voucher. And I had the owner on an interview maybe 3 weeks ago on these channels. And she said, Yvette, guess what? I'm like, what? He's back mowing the yard, mowing the grass. Yeah, so veterans are wonderful, amazing tenants, because a veteran who became homeless, and I always have to continue to say homeless, because there's nothing fluffy about that. You're either couch surfing, not knowing where you're going to go the next night, or you're on somebody's couch and they want a return of their couch every night, if you know what I mean. Or you're in your vehicle, or, oh my God, I had a veteran who slept behind pads, behind a homeless shelter for 2 nights because she had nowhere to go. And you think a homeless shelter would open their doors, but no, they were closed. Where do you go if the homeless shelter is closed? So I've housed veterans who lost their corporate jobs and couldn't pay their $1,200 a month rent, or whatever the rent amount was. Couldn't pay it. So you get evicted. Now what? You have to go to the VA, go somewhere to see what type of housing benefit you can get. either a HUD-VASH voucher or the use of $900 million. You know, it fluctuates over the years. This is for fiscal year 2026. So this one veteran, he received funding from Volunteers of America, Illinois, to pay his rent, and paid his rent. I found him an apartment and they were paying his rent. Well, he went back to corporate America and he was off the program and he took over his rent. Wouldn't you know, he lost that job too? So that's a second eviction. I got him housed again, don't worry. And now he's a homeowner. So these are homeless veterans in all walks of life. You don't know why a homeless veteran became homeless or what resources the veteran could gain access to if they knew, if you knew. And I have a book for that too. I've got a whole library. I didn't introduce y'all to my babies. This is my library, and they're called U.S. Military Veteran Educational and Resources Guidebooks Library. So whatever it is you want to know about housing in this homeless veterans community, you can go buy a book in my bio. So this is for everybody. I should have prefaced that on the book. This is for everybody. This is for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, first responders. This is for those who say, I want to do veteran shared living. So that's that. This teaches you that. This one is coming out. I've got 2 more things to do before I go ahead and wrap this one out and publish it. Veterans from Boots to Business, Finding Your Passion in Business and AI. So I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 29 years. And as a realtor, I was doing all of this stuff before AI. I had to write all of my own descriptions. I had to find resources for homeless veterans who didn't have it. Even for oh my goodness, I got an email 2 days ago from a social worker at the VA, at Jesse Brown VA, to refer a veteran to me who had some damage to his house, and he didn't have insurance on the, he's a senior, and he didn't have insurance on the home because he only receives SSI. Luckily, he doesn't have to pay taxes, nor and the mortgage is paid because it was his mother's house. So his, oh, thanks for the hearts. His overhead is low, but his income is also low, being just that he's receiving SSI. His brother lived upstairs and he was living downstairs. His brother fell asleep and burned up upstairs. So now he's living downstairs in a burnt up house upstairs. And the VA social worker referred him to me. And he told me, well, she said, you are a housing advocate and I have a housing matter. I'm like, okay. So what I did was I emailed her and said, I am going to collect resources for him and email them to you. And I emailed him as well. So you can contact these resources on his behalf. You're the social worker. I'm not at the VA anymore, and the VA doesn't pay me for my contracting work. And I asked her, who is your who is your program manager? Because you're going to be referring veterans to me. That means you can't do the job that I was doing for free for 13 years at the VA. So now I'm doing this all over the country. And I teach others how to do the same because it's all duplicatable. And the duplicatable part is broken down in all of my books. So, and you know what I tell everybody, all of my books, they're not just titles, they are descriptions to what's in the book. So if you go to the link and you see a book, just read the title because there's a description of what's in the book. This is a Realtor's Blueprint, the Veteran's Path to Home, navigating the journey from homelessness to home ownership. What's in this book? Exactly that, the navigation. That's me on the back right here. I'm the author and the publisher. And these are some of my federal and state and local certifications in the GovCon space. So let me see if I have any questions, comments, or concerns. I would like to order the notary first. That's not out yet. I'm not done. You see this? I have to put on here mobile. And then I have to add 2 chapters to this book. The mobile notary is in here, but also have to add the sick and shut in chapter. So that's what I did. I would go to the nursing home, and they need people so bad as a notary in the nursing homes, at any senior care facilities, in the community where you have I used to go to, this one daughter, her mother, she took the living room out, the couch and everything, because she was on the hospital bed that they brought to the house, and all of the machines and everything was around her. And that's what her mother had set up, because her mother's, in her living will, if anything ever happens to me, I got it like that, and I want to stay in my own house. And her mother was coherent to things. When I would go do her notary at the house, her mother would ask me, "How you feeling? How you doing? What's going on?" She couldn't move. She was hospice, and she would come in and out, and I would go for the daughter for me to go and notarize things because she couldn't leave the house. And then at the nursing homes, when you go to the nursing homes, they can't leave the nursing home. At the hospital, oh my God, I remember one hospital story. I went to the hospital and I said, "Ooh, he's got property. This is not all you're going to need." Whatever that notary was, the forms were. I said, "This is not all you're going to need. You're going to need a living a living will, a living trust." I forgot what it was, but I made a phone call, and I called attorney Mario Reed here in the Chicago area, and he went to the hospital and he did whatever instrument he needed to do and got it in place in time, because that gentleman passed away that Monday. His family would have been messed up from the floor up if I didn't get there to notarize and to call attorney Mario Reed to come and do the living will or living trust, whatever it was he did. And that gentleman passed away with everything intact. So that's what I do. I do notarization, sick and shut in. And I do I'm also a loan signing agent. Those are like, here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here. Those pay a little bit more, but you got to do 3 copies, and it's a lot of paperwork doing those. So I'm like, I'll just tell them, if I have an appointment at the nursing home, I'll call the head nurse, not the head nurse, but the manager. I forgot the manager's title name, the director, and say, hey, I have an appointment with such and such. And if you want to, call everybody out, because they'll do that too. They'll let everybody know we have a notary coming at this time. So if you need anything notarized, you can make an appointment with her too. So I would go to the nursing home, and everybody had to pay because it was still their notarization. And it's not $1 either. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's a good thing. You're not going to get rich doing it unless you create a team and you create a company. But this is how I, do my notarization. Find the need and go fill it. And they're always nice. You want to eat, Yvette? It's dinner time. No, sometimes I do. Or they have ice cream socials. So somebody said over here, are veterans themselves involved in shaping these housing programs? No, well, inadvertently they are, because, organizations do polls. So veterans are polled through mission roll call and other organizations. So whatever that poll is, they can answer it, and then that can help shape policies, including housing programs. But it doesn't matter about the housing programs. The housing programs are already in the community. The problem is the access to those housing programs. So this is a housing program, HUD-VASH. Okay, and these are housing programs, 411 organizations that received over $900 million. So that's not the problem. The programs, they can get access to them. It's just the access to using the programs in the community, which is the bottleneck of it all. And I'm only going to stay on for 1 hour because I have to finish 37 slides in my masterclass. Oh my goodness, you have a lot of questions over here. Thank you all for these amazing questions. Let's get to them. What's the most effective program you've seen for veterans housing? I answered that one. The ones that foster housing. Thank you for going live with this. It really makes an impact. My pleasure. Truly an eye-opener about the challenges and victories behind the scenes. Yeah. Thank you. Love the connects policy with practical human-centered action. Thank you. How can Oh, I like this one, Bradley. How can small real estate firms join forces with your advocacy? So small real estate firms can actually hire me. I am a consultant and I am an instructor. So I can come and teach this as a workshop, not a licensed CE, unless you want to license the class, because this book was already licensed by the IDFPR and the class was also licensed. But since I did a cohort, not a cohort. I did one class. I forgot what it's called, but I did a one course for 3 hours. And I'm like, that's not enough time. People didn't get enough out of that. But they had the book so they can go home and read the book. But for realtors, if you wanted to be licensed, then that could be in our contract that we create. Or if not, then I'll just come and teach it as a workshop. So thanks for that amazing question. And thanks for these hearts over here flying up. What advice would you give to someone who wants to help but doesn't know where to start? Buy the books and read. Buy the books and read. For someone who wants to help and don't know where to start, this is a good starting book right here. Where's Finding Home? This is a good starting book right here. Wonderful starting book. This one right here. Thanks for that amazing question. We got 6 minutes. Okay. I am glad I found your live. Hey, I'm so glad you did too. Oh my goodness. Somebody is crying. I would like the notary book. Oh yeah. The notary book. And it's a really nice book, but I do want to go in deeper about the sick and shut in. Yeah, at the nursing homes. And it's real easy being a notary. Oh my goodness, it's one of the easiest things once you get your notary seal and all that. Because you don't have to have any paper. You're not taking them anything. They're going to have it on their possession, or if you're working with the company is going to send it to you. So you don't have to create, and you can't create anything. You just can't make something up. So, but everybody will have, I would like the notary book first. Oh, I said that already. Okay, good. All right, so 5 minutes. Questions. What's today? Thursday. I'll be back Friday. 5:15. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. One of my agents, he's in the book too. Hold on, let me show y'all. He's in this book right here. That's me on the back of the book. This book is the 3rd edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. This was the 2nd edition. See that? It got bigger. And the first one was more like a pamphlet, I guess. But then the first pages of what's in that book was in a folder. So this is one of my agents, colleagues. He's one of my showing agents and closers too. Oh my God, that's Elijah Ogletree. So I'm going to his wedding tomorrow, Friday. He's amazing. And I'm so glad because he's young. Oh my, when I was doing real estate full time and showing houses all the time, up and down, all around. Some people don't even know what they want. 16 houses, like 16 candles, 16 houses later, and nothing. Oh my God. But you keep going because the next house might just be the one. And sometimes I would say maybe 7, 8 out of 10, it is. So I said, wait a minute, let me figure this out, because I'm not going to show no doggone multiple digit houses. Okay, let's figure this out. So I had to figure some things out, and then it stopped happening. But here lately, I did have one to see 11 houses. I'm like, wait a minute. I know summertime feels good, and I haven't been out the house much lately. So I don't mind getting out the house, but let me see how many houses I've already shown you, and you haven't made an offer. Okay, hey, let me call one of my showing agents. You want to come show some houses and look, it's 60-40. So 15 houses later, I'm like, what? Nothing? So that's how some people are. But typically with veteran buyers, they are on point. On point. I've won so many awards. Oh, let me show y'all another one. This one is from 2025 as well. This one is from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. Illinois Women Veteran Leaders of 2025 honors me, Yvette Jones Swanson, for your continued service and dedication to the Illinois veterans community. So the Illinois veterans hold on. The veterans homes. You have a veterans home in LaSalle and Anna. I haven't seen the one in Chicago. In Mantino, I saw the one in Mantino. I haven't seen the one in Quincy. So, and they need to be redeveloped. So I write veterans housing plans for individual veterans and veteran villages. So we'll circle back to that. Yeah, we'll circle back to that because those need a better plan, since they have not had a plan to change their original status since they were originally built. I want to thank y'all for being here today and get involved. You want to help homeless veterans, you want to help veterans learn how to acquire their resources, then go read the titles, which are actually descriptions of what's in my books, and go buy a book. That's me on the back. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson. I am the author and the publisher of my books. All right. I'm also a federal, state, and local GovCon with a lot of certifications and a lot of years and a lot of sweat and tears housing homeless veterans. I'm for real. This for over 22 years. This I don't even have the words to say, but we need everybody's help, and everybody can help, especially realtors and investors, because we need your properties. Realtors, we need you to get this book right here so you can learn how to work with your investors, so you can help them house veterans with this housing program called HUD-VASH or any of this $900 million. We need you to learn how to do that. We need you to get a book and start housing homeless veterans. I'll let you know when this master class is out. I've got the class. Actually, I could teach it just like that, but it's so many words on each slide. It feels cluttered to me. So I'll revamp that and go ahead and put that up into a master class, because you're leaving. Listen, realtors, I know that we have to get paid. Nobody is asking you to house homeless veterans for free. Nobody. It's not a charity, especially when they have moving papers. I have a veteran in my book here. His unit was $3,000, and guess how much my commission was? $3,000. I didn't have another realtor to split it with. The veteran came to me. He was referred to me by the social worker. I found an investor and moved him to a luxury downtown condo in Chicago, overlooking downtown Chicago. And he used a voucher. And this voucher is still paying his rent after 11 years. It's in the book. Learn how to do what I do. Oh, it's 6:03. I'm about to bounce and finish my master class. Man, I have so much respect now for some master class developers, because I've been in some master classes. I'm like, what kind of second grade operation is this? And other master classes. I mean, this is the master class. This is it. I'm talking to you like this. Where's the this and the that? And so my coach, first of all, and it felt like I was in real estate school again, because I took that class about 3 times back in 1996. 95, and then I got my license in January of 1996. So anywho, I did it wrong the first time. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. So I started over and did it wrong again the second time. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And then I started over and did it again the third time, a totally different way each time. And he was like, is something wrong with you? Like, what? No, this is what I think a master class is. This is what I saw. And I thought mine was real good. Not real good, but compared to the master classes that I paid for and attended, he said, okay, let's figure this out. Where's the disconnect? I'm like, I don't know. But when I got it, I got it. And then I'll tell you, I'm working with the real coach, but it has to sink in, and then I do it in solitude. I don't ask many questions. That's my problem. But I thought I was doing it right the three times. Anyway, I didn't ask any questions because I thought I was doing it right. But until I got it right, when he told me, oh, this is what you want. Oh, I got it now. And then when I got it, I'm like, oh, okay. I have to edit. I don't even know how to use this program. Oh my God. So he's there and he's doing it. And I'm looking, and he's doing some more, and I'm looking. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because at first I just knew the program like 2%. He said, how much do you know it? 2%? 2%, not 20, no, 2%. I know how to open it. So I learned how to use the program. So now I had to go back and edit each slide. And it's 264. And it's just, and then I had to go back and put my speaker notes. And I respect now for real masterclass creators, because it is truly a heavy lift. And that's just the introduction to the masterclass. That's not even the masterclass. So now I've got to go back and design, like, I don't even know how many modules, but it's so beautiful the way it's set up. I'm like, oh, this is my life as a realtor housing homeless veterans. And now I get to teach others how to do the same in a systematic approach nationwide. And this is for investors. And then the next masterclass will be for realtors. I made a six-figure income housing homeless veterans year after year. Some years it may be 89,000, but you know, that wasn't shabby at all either. Because some realtors, they would tell me, oh, Yvette, I have to go get another job. I never had to go get another job. I never had a job after I was downsized for the last time. 29 years as a licensed realtor, over 22. I think I might have been self-employed since 04, 2804. Anyway, I had a break and then found a job for a couple of years at ICC. Then I was teaching college. But anyway, that's my background. But when I found this homeless veterans community, I couldn't help but stay. I got myself out of homelessness, and I know what it takes for everybody to help, for realtors to help, for investors to get their units filled, for you to help, for social workers to gain more knowledge so you can help more, instead of just sending veterans back out the door homeless because you do it all the time. They call me. They stop the madness. Okay, I've got another one for you guys who want to create a veteran shared housing. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue. Okay. Save changes. Wow. Okay. My apologies. Oh, I haven't been on for an hour yet, 54 minutes. Oh, you know why? Because I come on at 5:15. That's why. I thought I was about to get off. So, any questions, comments, concerns over here on YouTube or LinkedIn because Facebook fell off. Here's one. How do you balance advocacy with the business side of real estate? They go together. So let's say I advocate for a homeless veteran with a voucher, and my advocacy goes as far as getting them housed. Well, I could have had a disclosure that I'm representing the tenant, and when this voucher is used, and if it's with another realtor, then that realtor and myself would share in the commissions. It's called a co-op. So my advocacy would go as far as helping another realtor, get the book, read the book, so we can work together so you can house this veteran wherever you are. So reaching out, speaking up, finding someone who's ready to rock and roll. That's how. Thanks for asking that amazing question. All right. Who's still here? Who is still here? Why didn't she visit the units with her? These people don't care. And that's what I was going to talk about today. That was my topic about people not caring. People not caring in this. Oh, people say they do. People say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. People say it all the time. Why do we have homeless veterans? What is the government doing about the situation? What are you doing about it? Now that you know there's a library of information for you to learn what to do about it, what are you going to do about it? I took all this time, and it was a lot of time. I didn't know what I was doing. Downloads from everywhere. I took all this time to create this series for you all to learn how to work effectively in this homeless veterans community. All of these books, and I'm not even finished. I want to get everything that I've been doing for the past 22 plus years out of my head into a book. Aren't they pretty? Yeah, so grab some books. This is for realtors. Read the titles because the titles are the descriptions of the book. Finding Home, and I'm getting sleepy. This book is for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, collaborative housing solutions for homeless veterans. Learn how to collaborate in the community. These social workers can learn how to collaborate in the community with knowledgeable realtors. Oh my God, I was so happy. One week I went to the VA. First of all, one of my realtors who I personally trained, not out of the book, out of my head before I wrote the book. And I personally trained her. Her name is Tara. She's a realtor here. And she sent me a text message to ask me a question. And I'm like, this is one of the questions that she should have remembered from my tutelage. But I answered the question. I said, what you got going on, girl? And she said what she said. I'm like, oh, okay, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And thank you so much for still going down to pitch in to house these veterans with vouchers. This is a commission. So I went to the VA one day, and I was in the hall. I was walking through, and I looked over and I said, Tara. And she stood over and gave her a big old hug. And I said, what you got going on, girl? And she showed me. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, she goes now to the veterans. It's like an open house for investors and landlords to come to showcase their properties so that these veterans with vouchers can rent them without all of that roadblock and stoppages. So she was there with some units that she had available. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because I don't go down anymore. It's ooh, wait. 22 years, and yeah, it was a lot. It's so much in my head that I want to just bring out. It's beautiful. I wish I could just project out of my eyes the videos that and the memories that I have of all the years of working inside the VA with so many wonderful, amazing people. Back in the day, we had some amazing social workers, and they wrote me letters. The letters are in this book. The letters are in several of my books. So social workers at the VA inside, they were working, and I'm working alongside of them to house these homeless veterans. Because I'm a realtor. These are social workers. They were given a tall challenge, a very tall challenge. As soon as they're hired, or their new office, their new department is homeless walk-in or HUD-VASH. So now I'm working with social workers. That's why I wrote this book. I'm working with social workers who have never housed themselves, or who have a house and they've been living in that house for 30 years and they don't know how to find a rental. I got the letters in the book, but I'm working alongside of them as a realtor, and housing the veterans who are on their caseloads. So now they can free up that caseload and go to another veteran. Now they can close that case file and go to another veteran because that veteran has been housed. And this went on for years, year after year after year. Anything new that needs to be taught to these social workers and case managers? How do you know that you're not being scammed? Because that would happen a lot. They would find units on Craigslist. Yvette, the program manager said use Craigslist to go find. And excuse me, and the SSVF organizations would pay, they say, okay, we want $500 key deposit. And they would get an approval because they would have to write a request for a $500 key deposit and then send that $500 to that person that they found on Craigslist. And I'm like, how many? I said, look, come on. It's time to huddle up again. If you can't all come to one spot, I'll come to you individually to teach you what to look for when you're looking for something. If what I have isn't available or quick enough for the veterans, but you just can't go on Craigslist and get an approval to send $500 to keys that you'll never receive because it's a scam. They were doing that back in the day. So I had to train them. They didn't know. This looks nice. Look at these pictures. They didn't know. So you have social workers who graduate from college and they apply for a job under usajobs.gov and get a job at the VA, and their job is homeless walk-in or HUD-VASH. But I just graduated from college, and this is my very first job, and it's my duty, my responsibility to find housing for this homeless veteran who is on my caseload. I just moved back home with my mama and my daddy in my old room before I went to college. Yeah. Those are these social workers too. So you have the old social workers, you've got the new graduating social workers, you've got some social workers who aren't even veterans and they I'm not saying all of them and some of them, but sometimes some just don't, give a damn, or just don't know how, or a combination of both, because that's a very hard department to work in. Think about it. You're working with homeless people who are, just in the lowest despair with it just, I'm envisioning it now. And whenever I talk about this, I just got to hold back my emotions because it is very deep. But these veterans have a voucher, or they have access to, to this $900 million that's in our community for these 411 organizations. And they're not being allowed access to housing because everything that these realtors want is a denial. That's what we deal with every single day. And we have vouchers that can't even be issued because who's going to house the veterans? So they stay homeless. We have the veterans with the vouchers and they're homeless. It's ridiculous. Just utterly and utterly ridiculous. So go to my bio and read the descriptions and go buy some books. That's some books right there. Go buy some books and educate yourself, since you say we shouldn't have homeless veterans and you say you care about the veteran community. Just like you learn anything else, this is how you're going to learn this to work inside this community, is inside my library. And my library is in my bio, wherever you got to go to find it. Or just go to Amazon and type in my name and go buy some books and learn. I'd love to work with you. I have a private group. So when you buy the book, let me know, and then you can become a member in my private group. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing community, and it takes a lot of dedication, and it takes people who care, who want to be here. I've seen a lot of people come and go. It's come and go, come and go. I mean, do I remember how you remember me? I don't remember you. Or you, okay, I remember that one year you were here. So, and I was trying to train another group of realtors in my office in Real People Realty years ago. Nobody's ready for this, but I'm like, okay, I got a 40-unit building over here, and I don't want to be the only one showing these veterans these 40 units. And they came one day and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And the paperwork too. I said, you know what? I'm through. I'm not training anybody else. And I rented all 40 of those units by myself and got all the commission. I didn't have to split it with anybody. And I rented all 40 units within 3 months. The owner was like, when he first called me, Yvette, it's cold out, so we can wait until the weather breaks until springtime. I'm like, we don't have to wait until the weather breaks or springtime. And we have homeless veterans right now with the voucher trying to find somewhere to go. I housed veterans, that was in Worth, Illinois. Housed a veteran who lived in his work truck with his German Shepherd dog, and he had this voucher. And the owner was saying, oh, we can't accept dogs. I said, yeah, you can. Everybody with an animal is going to live on the back side where it backs up to like a small forest preserve type area, but it's fenced. So can't nothing come through unless a squirrel, and the dogs can't go through either. So that's where everybody on the first floor and the second floor, everybody who had service animals, they could stay on that back side. And everybody else was in the middle, and it's 2 buildings separated by a parking lot with laundry. and the bus stop right outside the property complex, and a shopping center right across the street from the complex. The place was beautiful and it was totally rehab. And I got a letter in the book from that investor. And I rented 40 units to veterans with HUD-VASH vouchers, Colbert vouchers, fiduciaries, and SSVF funding. And I got a commission for every single one. So when people say, oh, how do you house homeless veterans and they don't have any money? Well, they have benefits, housing benefits, okay, and $900,000 in benefits. So learn something today. Thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you. And I've been getting phone calls from some YouTubers. I don't know how y'all finding my phone number, but it's nice to speak to you though. Thanks for supporting my channel. Thanks for supporting me by buying my books. Thanks for supporting homeless veterans that you care about. I don't want to say y'all don't care. I really don't. I know y'all care. Y'all just have to learn what to do in order for you to care even more. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, Realtor, consultant, and professional services in the GovCon space. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let me play the outro. Let's see what's on the. I was creating a new video today, but then my younger sister called and was talking. I'm like, I was doing something before you called. Well, it's just that it's not gonna be long. Okay.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.